10 shocking truths about the Benin Bronzes, the real story of Africa's looted art. In 1897, a quiet hum of chants echoed through the royal palace in Benin City. Elders gathered in mourning, priests burned incense to the gods, and the brassmith stood still, tools in hand, unable to protect what was sacred. British soldiers had arrived not as diplomats, but destroyers. Centuries of royal pride, spiritual heritage, and unmatched artistry were reduced to ashes. The Benin Bronzes, over 4,000 sacred artifacts were looted, boxed and shipped across the seas. They were living archives of ancestors, kings, deities, and the very soul of a people. Today, we bring you 10 powerful truths about the Benin Bronzes, what they were, what they meant, and why their return matters more than ever. The Benin Bronzes were created by royal guilds with sacred responsibilities. In the Kingdom of Benin, art was sacred duty, reserved for the most loyal and spiritually anointed craftsmen. There were two elite guilds at the heart of this system: the Igun Oromon, royal brassmiths who worked with bronze and brass; the Egbesanwa, royal ivory and wood carvers. These guilds operated under strict instruction from the Oba. They were not common artisans. They could not sell their works. Their creations were exclusive to the palace, meant for royal rituals, altars, and memory preservation. Craftsmanship was a spiritual lineage passed from father to son. Being chosen was both an honor and a vow. These houses were not merely functional. They were embedded in the Benin ruling structure, making art a pillar of governance and legacy. The bronzes were not just art. They were historical and spiritual records. What looks like a plaque to outsiders was to the Benin people a chapter in their living history. Each bronze, ivory, or wood sculpture preserved vital records, stories of past Obas and Yobas, queen mothers, epic battles fought and won, stories of brave warriors, spiritual ceremonies, and even messages from the gods. Some of these bronzes even functioned as spiritual mediums, used during rituals to channel ancestral forces. So while Europeans saw decorative objects, Benin saw memories, ancestors, and divine presence. Taking them wasn't just theft, it was a severing of sacred ties. The bronzes guided royal storytellers. In the Oba's court, the house of Ogbelaka served as the kingdom's official historians and poets. These were oral bards, trained to pass down the story of Benin from generation to generation. But they didn't just speak from memory. They used the bronzes and carved ivories as guides. Each artifact became a visual cue, a reminder of events, people, or spiritual transitions. A plaque of a warrior might lead to a poem about a great battle. A bronze head might recall the reign of a powerful queen mother. Through the artifact, history lived. Through storytelling, history moved. This was Benin's version of a national archive, and the bronzes were the pages. They were stolen during the 1897 British invasion. The theft of the bronzes wasn't random. In 1897, after a British trade envoy was attacked during a time of traditional ritual, against warnings, the British launched what they called a punitive expedition. But what happened was closer to a cultural massacre. They destroyed Benin City, exiled Oba Avoramen, and looted over 4,000 artifacts from the royal palace and surrounding temples. The sacred works were divided among British soldiers, officials, and museums. It wasn't punishment, it was plunder, and it marked the fall of one of Africa's greatest kingdoms. Queen Victoria herself received a stolen leopard carving. The scale of the looting was so vast, even royalty got a share. One of the most notable stolen pieces, a twin leopard carving made from elephant ivory, was gifted to Queen Victoria. While many of the soldiers kept artifacts in personal collections, others were auctioned or donated to European museums. Today, the British Museum still holds hundreds of these bronzes, many acquired during the expedition. It raises an important question: how can a museum display what it knows was looted? Benin Bronzes are held in museums and private collections worldwide. Today, the Benin Bronzes are scattered across the globe. They sit behind glasses in institutions such as British Museum, London, over 900 pieces, Metropolitan Museum of Art, New York, Wells Museum, Vienna, Smithsonian Institution, Washington, D.C., Jesus College, Cambridge, Honeyman Museum, South London, Linden Museum, Stuttgart, City of Rotterdam Museum, Rothschild, Rockefeller, and even Picasso have privately owned Benin Bronzes. One bronze head, renamed the Holy Head, was sold in 2015 for a shocking £10 million to a private collector. Artifacts once sacred now decorate the homes of the wealthy and powerful. Some families are returning their grandparents' loot. In 2010, Mark Walker, the grandson of a British soldier involved in the 1897 expedition, chose to return 2 Benin Bronzes his family had kept. He made the journey to Benin himself to honor the legacy his grandparents helped destroy. He is not alone. A small but growing number of individuals have started to voluntarily return looted artifacts, seeing them not as heirlooms, but as stolen spirits. A global repatriation movement is underway. The tide is slowly turning. The Benin Dialogue Group, a coalition of Nigerian and international stakeholders, has led conversations on returning the bronzes. Major breakthroughs include Germany, 2022, transferred ownership of over 1,100 artifacts to Nigeria. Jesus College, Cambridge, 2021 to 2022, returned a sculptured cockerel to Oba Eware II. Smithsonian Institution, 2022, signed over 29 Benin Bronzes. The Netherlands, 2025, returned 113 bronzes to Nigeria, including pieces from the city of Rotterdam, the Met Museum, National Gallery of Art, Great North Museum, and more, all pledged partial returns. In 2023, President Muhammadu Buhari declared that all returned bronzes belong to the Benin royal family, not the federal government. This restored the rightful ownership, at least on paper. Many are still held abroad, just on loan. Here's the hard truth. Most bronzes are still physically in Europe and America. Yes, ownership has been transferred, but many museums still retain physical custody, keeping the bronzes on display under loan agreements or diplomatic delays. This means that while Nigeria is the rightful owner, the bronzes remain thousands of miles away, still disconnected from their spiritual roots. It's a legal victory, but justice remains incomplete. The bronzes are more than art, they are ancestral spirits. To the Edo people, the Benin Bronzes aren't just beautiful objects, they are ancestors. Each bronze holds the energy of those it represents. They are part of the kingdom's sacred cycle, used in rituals, memory, and power. That's why the people of Benin are working to build a new Benin Royal Museum, a place where these artifacts can be brought together under one roof in the land of their birth. For them, the return of the bronzes is not a political issue, it's a spiritual necessity. The Benin Bronzes are not relics of a forgotten past. They are witnesses, they are teachers, they are ancestors calling for home. It's time we all listen. If you believe in justice, heritage, and the power of African history, hit that like button. Subscribe to Uhuru Afrika-Timewalk for more stories the world tried to forget. Comment below. Should all looted African artifacts be returned? Let your voice be heard. This is Uhuru Afrika-Timewalk, reclaiming Africa's voice, one story at a time.